What is going on, y'all? Gazer being 2K here again with Steuben. Steuben, I've lost count of the episodes. I've lost track. I don't know what's going on. Are we still in season 2, 3? What is this? No idea.
You never have any idea. Let's just be honest.
Well, I mean, that's why you're here, right?
Yeah. So last episode you went on your own with the senior boys, and
Well, hold on. Wait a second. Let's rephrase all of this. I don't have to wait. This is sounding.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me be more correct for you. You recorded an episode with two champion senior division players.
Oh, that's yes. There we go. Yeah, we had James Sims, Professor Poke, and we also had Lucas Odell on, and they went on the Worlds.
Yep.
And they day two'd. I think James finished 40 somethingth, and I think Lucas was like 19th or 20th, somewhere around there. So they did very well. Unfortunately, James is no longer a senior. He'll have to play with the big boys now. And Lucas apparently has like 18 years left of eligibility to be in the senior division.
So when I listened to the episode, you said the
word.
You
listened?
You said the word "big boy," or I'm sorry, the phrase "big boy" 7 times.
I mean, they were some big boys, man. They're all grown up now. You know, they're growing up.
And you wonder why we've been canceled multiple times.
But we keep coming back, and that's the point, man. We're here yet again. It hasn't quite been a week after Worlds,
you know, that like when you flush, it just doesn't go away.
You have to like flush a couple times and hold the handle down, and hopefully that's us.
Yeah,
we're here.
Yeah,
we're here, man. A few days after Worlds, here we are. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, Worlds was it was something, man. No one expected half the things that happened. And
what does that even mean?
Yeah, you know, I didn't expect an underdog to take it. Like when you look at the top 4, and you see, you see Azul and Pram and Tord, and you're like, oh, I mean, Vance is a name. I've seen his name around before. They've got some solid finishes, 16. And they've
top
got
16
solid,
here in Fresno.
They've got solid results and finishes. But like when you know, it'd be like if it was Joe Schmo, you know, like the underdog took it and took the whole thing, and I didn't expect that. I didn't, but you know, Mew is Mew, and Mew does Mew things, just Mew things, you know. So,
I mean, as much as I hate Mew because it's so simple and I feel like it doesn't take a whole lot of skill, I still feel that way no matter what. I always said it was a good deck. I always respected it as a good deck and knew it can do Mew things. I just hate to. Can I go on a mini rant real quick?
You do this every time. I knew this was going to happen tonight when we talked about Vance and his win.
Well, I mean, Mew, it triggers me, man. It triggers me.
What doesn't?
I hate the fact I don't get triggered too often. It's just Mew. I hate the fact that Mew could have a horrible start. They could sit there with Alyssa Sparkle in hand. No, okay, let's run it back. Sit there with 2 bosses orders.
You couldn't even play Mew. You don't even know what's going on. You can't even see. You can't even see what's an imaginary.
I know it's in the deck, but what I'm saying is they have an unplayable hand and they have a Genesect and a Mew on board, and they're like, oh man, let me play this 1 power tablet and draw 1 card off my Genesect, and hopefully something happens. And they draw 1 card off the Genesect. Hey, look, I found a Forest Seal Stone. Oh look, I found. Now I'll go find Battle VIP, and then they just get out of it for like no reason. It doesn't take a whole lot of skill. It wasn't a lot of strategy involved. When I play a regular deck and I struggle, I'm like, man, I have to prepare myself for the next turn and the following turn, and what can my opponent do and what can happen next. Mew's just like, oh boy, let's draw cards. Hey, we got there, we figured it out. I hate Mew for that aspect, but I do respect it as a deck. You know, it has so much going for it, a lot of support. I mean, it has a whole freaking set based around it. So I respect Mew in that aspect, but I still don't like it. It's very unskilled. But I mean, Vance won it. Vance is he's not a local around here per se, but he's played in a lot of California, cups and challenges around this area. So I've seen the name before. He was here in Fresno, top 16, I believe. Mm-hmm. So I've seen the name, and hell, he played Mew, man. He played it very well. I mean, looking at the list, he has some text in there. He has some very interesting text,
And that's a deck that has the space for tech. Like you have your fine package of, you know, your typical counts of cards, but like there's wiggle room for like 2 or 3 tech cards for the most part without super screwing up your consistency.
Well, I mean, because you consistently draw cards, so it's okay. You don't mind.
And in
Did
whatever
not worry
matchup,
about,
you just discard it, throw it away. Like, oh, okay, cool. I don't
yeah.
need that's our Ultra Ball
I
target.
don't need this Ultra Ball. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't need this. Okay, I'll use Crabomatic. So
Yeah.
Crystal Cave was in his list, and Crystal Cave was in list from you early on, and then it kind of just vanished. And he threw it in there, I guess, you know, hoping, you know, the catch a couple lost boxes, you know, slipping a little bit. But the two main techs, they were kind of like, whoa, haven't seen that in a while. Oricorio. And I play this in my Goodra deck, but no one else plays, and people call me crazy for it. Box of Disaster.
Yeah, Box of Disaster. The final stream game, that game 1, that really turned the tide for him against Tord.
And I have it in my Goodra list, and it's a great tech for Gardevoir. And first I was running what was I running at first? Panic Mask.
Yeah.
But then Gardevoir found ways around it, so I said, okay, let me, you know, upgrade a Box of Disaster. And it's come in handy quite a few times. The fact that, you know, people don't want to swing into it because, you know, fear of knockout, or if they do swing into it, your opponent takes a knockout, take a prize, and then you have to promote. So now you're sitting there, you know, what do I send up? What can I lose this turn? It really makes you have to make some decisions where if there's no Box of Disaster, you just swing and knock out whatever it is, you know? And so I do like that as a proactive kind of card at the same time.
And to respect Tord too, his list was tacked out as well. He had the Mirage Steps, he had Vacuum in there.
The Mirage Step played a big role, man.
Yeah, it let him chump a Kirlia basically and still get 3 at the same time and have a slower setup, it felt like, in comparison, like where he wasn't like rushing to find Ralts every game. He could afford to not get some Ralts and make up for it coming back. Because like Gardevoir can fall behind a few prizes and still win the game. And then he also played 2 Reversal Energy in there. So that was pretty huge. It also set up too, because like, oh cool, you fall behind, you slap a Reversal on a Shiny Arcana Gardevoir, and like, you know, you get 6 energy on there, or 7th with an attachment or whatever, and you're one hit KOing anything.
Reversal, I feel like it's just too good of a card not to play. I know there's players like Andrew Mahone and his crew, they weren't playing Reversal in their, you know, early Guardy list, but I always thought at least 1 of was great. Sometimes I thought about 2 maybe, but yeah, 2 came in handy for Tord, and that Kirlia played such a big role, man. What game was that where Lost City was just prevalent? He couldn't bump the Lost City, and he had to, you know, be careful with his Raltses and everything else like that. And the Mirage Step came in and just said, okay, we have at least three other Kirlia out. You know, we have outs to Gardevoir. We're fine.
I think that was the second game.
Was that the second game? Yeah, that was huge for him. But yeah, I mean, I feel like those are tier 1 decks. I thought Guardy would win it all. And I thought that before, you know, Tord played, before, you know, everything played out the way it did. But I thought Guardy deck was going to win it all. But I feel like these are, you know, there's nothing surprising in that top 8. Everything seemed kind of, you know, run of the mill.
No, there really weren't any surprises at all. In day 2, at least. I know like Sander had a controlled deck, but like, yeah, I looked at the list and I was just like, I didn't quite process it in my head the first time I saw it. I had to think about it for a little bit and then go back and look at it again. But like, they didn't make the typical waves like they normally do. Like last.
Well, I think Sander said right now, controls in such a rough spot.
There's so many aggressive early attacking decks, that just make it hard for like the slow tempo of control to do its thing.
You take out the Miltank, put in the Mimikyu, you know, hopefully, but you know, has so much lower HP. You need to stall time, so you have things like the Vulpix, and I think he had the Ansy in there, you know, so stuff couldn't get bossed up ahead of time. And then a tech people couldn't quite figure out was the Espeon with the Sun Moon badge. And the Espeon was there, so you know you can so you can't be targeted with Sableye. You put on the Sun Moon badge, so Espeon can't be bossed up. And then, unless they have like double escape rope and Lost Box or something like that, your Vulpix just sits there and just takes no damage from Lost Box. Just goes through everything. So, yeah, I see the idea, I see the concept, but it is hard to play.
Yeah,
it's a tough time for control right now.
It looked less control and more like slow the game down and attack with Vulpix.
Which is strange because there's only a 1/1 line of it. So.
I'm sure there's just like a matchup chart for that that we just don't know since we're not Sander and we don't have that big brain.
You calling me stupid?
I'm calling us both stupid, I guess, in that regard. We're not Sander.
I accept that. That's fine. But yeah, nothing in that top 8 out of the ordinary. Now, bubbling out of top 8, though.
Mm-hmm.
Cyrus.
Yeah, she almost made it in because the point breakdown, it was super close. It just came down to resistance from what I saw on the printed pairings.
And that feels like what happens at locals all the time. There's always a local who, they call, in my locals, they call him the Froky Master. Because, the frubbles, the bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
So they always bubble out because, resistance is off by 17 points or, something real close. And when I first started playing, I didn't know what resistance was. I'm like, hey, we have the same record. Shouldn't I be in there? Like, no, look at your resistance. I'm like, the hell is that? What are you talking about? And I had to start trying to understand, who you play. If someone drops, what kind of win did you get? Was it a bye win? Was it did you play a weaker opponent? So I had to start understanding that.
Are you in a challenger cup where there's a senior or junior potted in and you played them? That makes a massive difference. So, yeah. But the bubble, the bubble at Worlds just proves that we might need an asymmetrical cut. They did it once, I believe.
More rounds that would add though?
No, it would just be like an extra elimination round.
You think just one? You don't think there's a couple other people who could?
I mean, if they bubbled, maybe yes. Who knows? But still, I know they've done it in the past once or twice for some events. It might warrant a thing, especially now too with the new season with no day 2 invites. There might be a reason to bring that asymmetrical cut back.
That could be fun. I don't know if you remember this. About a year and a half ago, I ran a tournament that had mixed results online on Limitless, and I ran it as basically a win and in. Everyone had a chance to get in there, but you had to win 2 games in a row. It's kind of like double elimination, asymmetrical cut kind of thing. And I had some people complain about it. I had some people who loved it. And I like that because I coach basketball. I enjoy sports, so it brings that that added drama of the underdog can take it all, can come out of nowhere. Asymmetrical cut could be nice, though.
That
could be fun.
That was on Challenge, though, wasn't it? It wasn't on Limitless, right?
No, it was on Limitless.
Okay, because I remember our very first online tournaments that we used to do.
Challenge.
They were on Challenge, yeah, because there wasn't
double elimination.
Wasn't a thing yet, and you didn't have a lot of choices in terms of true Swiss. It was hard to get it to work correctly, and
you would run double elimination, and then someone can come all the way down from the losers bracket, which was fun as well.
And that's what Pokemon Go does for regionals.
Oh, double elim.
Yeah, they have double elimination basically. So
could be something to adopt. I mean, I kind of felt bad that Cyrus that she bubbled out, but if she had gotten to that top 8, she would have had one of the more interesting decks in that top 8.
Yeah, the Palkia deck. And Palkia has been making a little bit of waves on its own online too. I mean, there's Chimpao in there, but it was a full on 4-3 Palkia V-Star with Bidoof and Bibarel in there, and it felt more like when Palkia first came out before everybody just jammed the Inteleon line in there fully with nets and stuff.
You don't miss those days? You don't miss Inteleon? And
I do and I don't, man. We gotta the thing with Pokemon is there's ebbs and flows. You have to roll with the punches and the card design as it comes out and the meta shifts, and that's what separates Pokemon more than any other game. And
easy. So you're gonna upset some people.
We can definitely talk about that. I want to talk about that a little bit, but not right now. We'll move into that later on. But yeah, the Palkia deck felt like an early Palkia deck from when Astral Radiance first dropped, and where people are playing pre-release format for it and stuff like that, which is really cool to see because just every deck wants to set up a full bench right now, and Palkia can early take advantage of that. The Melanie, the Irida, you get set up so fast.
It could swing by turn 2 for a 260?
Yeah, if both benches are full 260 without any modifiers.
Yeah, so it definitely was a Palkia deck. I think one thing that changed from Cyrus's day 1 to day 2 list was Articuno. I heard someone mention that. There was no Articuno on the day 1 list. In day 2, she threw in Articuno. And I don't know if it played a role. I can see where it can come in handy against, a Guardy list or against a Lugia. But I'm not sure if it really played a role. But I mean, it got her to top 9. Got her, 9. So,
which is still a very solid finish in that field of players. I mean, which they're already accomplished on their own after NAIC taking that dub. So, yeah, they've also had massive results in the past anyway. So.
No, seeing that list and just seeing the 2 Chin Pal just is more so like a not a tech, but more so like a add-on to the Palkia.
It's your capacious bucket. It's your capacious bucket.
That's what. Yeah, I feel like it's just if something takes a knockout, you promote it. Okay, let me grab 2. Okay, let me use my ear dot. I have a switch, and
it's also
whatever else I need.
It's also potentially like your big burst KO too.
Mm-hmm.
Like since Palkia can't reach past 260 without a modifier, Chien-Pao can hit whatever you need it to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So
you save and use that V-Star, then attach it to it, and boom, boom. Okay, Chien-Pao, pick up 3 prizes on this Mew VMAX. I might lose 2, but at least I picked up 3. So I'm winning the prize trade. So yeah,
you could easily with nothing. You could easily promote the Chien-Pao, flip the V-Star power. There's 3 energy in play. Turn attachment makes 4. Melanie makes 5. If you Melanie, so you can hit 300, which you're almost clearing out whatever at that point. Did they play Belt in their list?
No, I don't see a belt. I don't see a belt. But I mean, if you're planning a big knockout later on,
that's where the Articuno
you might attach one more. You have Articuno can solve for a turn. So yeah, I like it. I always been a fan of Palkia. It was the first deck I played that wasn't the Regigigas. First deck I really got in the plan.
Your first deck was like Urshifu, Umbreon,
Single Strike. Yeah.
Then
I switched to the Regis, and then Regis wasn't giving me results, so I switched to Palkia. And I went like my first week playing Palkia with Inteleon. I won like 3 of my locals. I was like, oh, this thing's good. So I do enjoy Palkia. I don't enjoy Chien-Pao with Baxcalibur. And this reminds me, I think Zach Lesage had a list with a Baxcalibur list, Chien-Pao list. And it kind of reminds me of that, but this is more so focused on the Palkia, the 4-3. Lets me know, okay, Palkia is still a really good card. So, I mean, you might want to buy some of those League Battle decks if you haven't bought any yet.
I have all those cards. Plus, Emily's a diehard Palkia and Chien-Pao player.
She took Chien-Pao to NAIC. Made me sad.
Yeah, I mean, we both dropped 2-3-1. We weren't playing for points, so it didn't really matter to grind out the day.
Did I tell you I started 3-1 at NAIC?
Oh, yeah, we were there. You were there.
Yeah.
I was there. We were there.
I started 3-1.
It was only just a little bit over a month ago. I haven't forgotten.
I was on fire, man.
I mean, that happens to everybody, though. Like, we talk about Jared. They started off 3 on day 2.
Oh, my gosh.
So
even when he was 301, I was excited for him. And I messaged you, I messaged you on Discord, because you put something on Twitter about the whole sleeve fiasco.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The Azul Season Park match with, like, the giant 15-minute delay where the guy kept coming out with, like, nope, that's not my sleeves. Goes back in, comes back out. Those aren't my sleeves. Goes back in and brings the whole backpack out, and he's digging, and there's, like, nothing in there. And then they all get up, the judges and everybody gets up and walks away. And then I'm just like, and this is brought to you by Dragon Shield, the official broken sleeve of the Pokemon trading card game.
You're only saying that because you're not sponsored by Dragon Shield. They didn't send you stuff.
I like Ultimate Guard, even if they...
I know, because they sent you stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Even if they wouldn't have sent me stuff, I think Katanas are a better quality sleeve right now than Dragon Shield. I used to swear by Dragon Shields, 100%. I used to swear by them. It's all we would buy for years, and then the quality in the last 2 years has just slowly declined.
Well, see, whenever I buy Dragon Shields, I still do Dragon Shields. I stopped doing dual mats. But whenever I buy Dragon Shields, I head over to darksidegames.com.
But
you like that, don't you?
That was because
that's smooth, baby.
No,
you like that one
because our discount code works on singles, not cards.
I know that, but I still whenever I buy Dragon Shields, though, I head over to darksidegames.com. Whenever I buy singles, I head over to darksidegames.com. Whenever I buy product, I head over to darksidegames.com. Whenever I buy anything, I head over to darksidegames.com, Las Vegas, Nevada. If you use code word GOW 10 at checkout, you save 10% on all singles at darksidegames.com. Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, they've added more singles today. So if you're listening to this like recently after we upload it, then yeah, they've added more Obsidian Flames singles because they keep selling out.
But no, but yeah, during that whole little intermission with the whole sleeve fiasco, that I'm sure Kyle Saberhouse was just enjoying that downtime, having to stall. You know how hard it is to stall for time? Well, you've cast it before. It is so hard to stall for time.
Oh yeah, yeah, and
Emmy and I, when we did the Dark Side 3K, Emmy and I were like, it's so hard. But no, during that whole time, you put something on Twitter, and I messaged you. I was like, bro, Jared is killing it right now. And then Jared proceeded to get killed.
yeah,
he started 301.
They started off super hot.
Oh man!
And just lost 4 straight, I believe, or 3 straight.
4 straight.
Yeah. And I mean the deck was spicy. We put a lot of hours in Discord like that whole month. At first we thought it was a bad, like the cross switchers inside of the deck. We thought it was bad and we was like, yeah, this is a meme, this is stupid. And then eventually like they kept going back to it, and he and Blake Puppineth, noleaks.com, just like went back and forth on it for a little bit, and just eventually like he was like, yeah, this is it, this is the 60. And just minor little tweaks and changes over the last month, and just tons of playing and whatnot with it. So it really paid off in day 1, and then just the bad RNG happened day 2. But I mean, again, that happens to everybody. We've seen like Tord 03 drop at events before. So it's just not, it's not the player, it's the game, it's the RNG, the shuffling. Who knows? There's many factors.
It happens, and it's always bound to happen. It just happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I can't really think of anything else I would want to touch on out of day 2.
I do.
Okay.
I do. There was a guy on stream. He played one of my favorite decks. He didn't win. He didn't do very well.
I might have missed it. You might have missed it.
His name was Fabio.
Oh, Gudra. Yeah. Gudra. I didn't see that on stream. Because again, I stayed up till like.
Well, it was like 11 o'clock my time, maybe midnight. So it had to be super late for you.
I stayed up till like the round after I watched the round with a sleeve break, and then I was like, I gotta go to bed. I gotta run a cup tomorrow. So.
Yeah, it wasn't too long after that, but yeah, Fabio was playing Gudra, and I was like, yes, and he bricked so hard, and that's what Gudra does. I play it, still to this day, and there's times where like everything flows perfectly, and times where I'm like, just like, well, attach Sableye pass, and it be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, and I've been here as well too. You're digging for something, you finally hit what what you're looking for, but you forget, you did something beforehand, and he made a mistake, and he had double attach for a turn to get a Sableye play, and he was digging for moments before that, and they caught it a game later, and it didn't make a difference. He still, they said, hey, it happened, it happened, but yeah, he finished 26, so right at the top 24, but it's okay. It's Gudra, man. Everyone gives me a hard time for playing Gudra, and I'm like, nah, Gudra's not terrible. It needed something extra, and Sableye gives it, the extra oomph it needed. Because now I can set up, knockouts on other stuff. I attack with Gudra, and then Sableye can come in and, finish things off. But it's just so hard to manage metal energy, water energy, psychic energy, your resources, maybe sneaking a Greninja play, maybe sneaking a Zacian play. Zamazenta play. It's so hard sometimes, and it clunks up. But I was just happy to see it.
Speaking of clunking up, Giratina didn't do anything that everybody thought it was going to do. Like, Pram got third, but everyone was talking about, like, Giratina is going to be number 1 play day 1, number 1 play day 2, and, like, it wasn't. It kind of fell on its face. Even, like, there wasn't much Arc Tina either, and that had a lot of hype in the few weeks leading up to Worlds.
There was not a lot of Arc Tina, which that surprised me. I said there's going to be an Arc Tina deck sliding in somewhere, and it didn't do that hot, did it? I'm looking at it right now. I don't see any.
No, I don't think. And from the data we have, thanks to Limitless, with top 32, there isn't a single Arc Tina.
No,
and there's 3 total Tina Lost Zone. However, I believe seniors division though it won, right?
Tina it makes sense. It's simple. There's not senior division. There's an Arc Tina that took second place.
Second place, first place, senior division. What's the difference? It's not masters. I'm kidding.
Yo, chill.
I missed the episode with I couldn't be here. I was at my grandma's. So prior commitments to that episode, or I got to throw a little bit of the shade at the boys because they gave me crap.
They did
for not being here. You guys were doing a stupid impersonation. I was like, you punks.
Hey, they're pretty spot on though. Sound like some of the things you would say.
When James is like, when he goes, and I was like, I get that because like when I get excited, I do like speak faster and like extenuate my words a little bit. So they were pretty good on that. So props to them.
Any seniors listening right now, you guys, senior lives matter. Don't listen to what students said. Senior lives do matter.
Just not senior citizens like Gazer.
Chill. Okay, let's move on. But no, out of that top 32, and I mean, there's a Miraidon list. I think there's a couple Miraidons, wasn't there?
There were 2 or 3, I think, in the top 64. 2 of which were Siege and Park and Andrew Mahone. And
the Mahoney.
The Mahone list is actually pretty dang good. I sleeved it up. I played it at locals, and yeah.
One of my locals hit me up today. He was like, "This is Mahone's list. I changed 3 cards." He said it runs so smooth. I was like, "How's it play?" He said it runs so smooth.
It's super.
He said, "I changed 3 cards," and yeah, that's what he said. The guy, one of my locals played last night, I think. That path to the peak is so. To diverge a little bit, we'll jump back into it. I've been playing a lot with Obsidian Flames, and I'm not playing Charizard EX. I've been playing Glamour EX. And you know what Glamour EX does, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. Reduces your opponent's bench side if it's in the active spot.
So 3. That is so powerful in this format. I like destroyed a few Degardi decks. I destroyed a few Lost Boxes. And the damage output isn't very high. Sneasler helps a little bit. It does 140 plus poison. So I can get to 170 on, a turn, and then, next turn more poison. So it kind of helps. I get, 2-hit knockouts. But just reducing the bench helps. And then the key is Path to the Peak, along with the new Lunatone and Soul Rock.
Yeah, the rocks.
Put some rocks on my list, man. But no, it keeps my Pokemon from being affected by stadiums. And just Path Judge goes burr so hard, man. Path Judge, Path Iono. It's so devastating. So when I saw Mahone's list and I saw Path, I'm like, well, I guess, you end up losing out on, fleet-footed. But once you tandem unit, once you Squawkabilly if you need to, you have everything you need out, you're only focused on your Flaffies.
Yeah.
Really you need to worry about. So you can go Judge Path, Judge Iono. And I said it's so disruptive and powerful. So like that's a nice looking list.
Yeah, it's super gas. The 14th energy instead of like the 12 that people were playing makes it feel like the generator hits even easier and more often.
Whenever I play Miraidon, I ran 14 or 15. Yeah, so I don't know. Someone ran 12?
Yeah, I've seen lists with 12.
Ooh.
And we still haven't seen Sage and Park's list, but I assume it's similar to what they won their national championship with. Except for, I believe the casters mentioned Penny was included in the list. So not 100% certain what was changed, but I would feel like it would be pretty close to what they played for their national win. And then there were a few other Miraidons that made day 2 and a few through day 1. So it had a little bit of love.
Yeah. When that Arc spike hit, about a month ago, everybody's playing Arc something, Arc Duraludon, or Arc Umbreon, or Arc Giratina, just Arc everything. In my mind, I'm like, Miraidon can make a run right now. And I was going to take it to locals, but instead I, fell back on Gudra. Instead I tried some, weird Zoroark lists. But in my back of my mind, I'm like, I think I want to go back to Miraidon just because 220, turn 1, can pick up such, so many, knockouts that can be key. I can knock out your Arceus. I can knock out your Giratina that you have sitting on the bench. It makes a difference. It really does. And I thought about going back to it, but I didn't. And in my mind, I said for day 1, I was expecting to see a lot of Mew, a lot of Lugia, and a lot of Miraidon. And I think it was a lot of Lugia on day 1. I think Lugia was played.
Lugia might have been the most played.
I think so. But then everything fell back to normal. It was, So everything was like around 15, 14%. Not too, man, I wish we had Kyle Saberhouse here. I mean, I wish there was just a guy who was like at Worlds, who casted it, who could tell us what the meta breakdown was, who knows these things, man. I wish we had a guy like that just here right now.
What are you doing?
I was just hoping Kyle Sablehouse appeared if we said his name enough. If I did a segue leading up to him.
Mental note to edit this part out of the podcast.
You got to keep it in, man. This is it's who we are. But
it's who you are. It's who you are.
The day one deck breakdown, I think Lugia was the highest played, but I think everything else kind of fell just to around 13-14%, and it was just the usual suspects. It was Lost Box, it was Guardian. I'm like, I thought people were going to play those because they take forever. You could tie a lot, but I guess good deck is good, so you play it anyway, right?
Yeah. If you believe in it and you're having a good time with it, I mean, why not? The cup that Emily and I played at, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago now, he made top 8 and she lost to him, and he was playing the same Miraidon list there. So we knew he was on it before Worlds to an extent, just from seeing him play it and do well with it.
Yeah, I remember that. I gave you a hard time about that one, but I remember that post you had put, and yeah, you didn't leak what he played. I don't think I knew what he played.
Yeah, he played.
But yeah, I don't think I knew that. But yeah, I remember that moment. And I like the list.
Yeah,
I like the list.
I think
Pal,
the weakest card in it is the Zera Aura. I mean, it's a pivot. It's a single prize pivot, which is cool. And I think
it can pick up key knockouts on where you can go 1 for 1 on Guardy, Baby Guardy, on something like that. Yeah, you can go 1 for 1 for something. Or if they knock you out, you can do a little chip damage and knock them out with something big. Get a knockout there. So it's okay. It probably is the weakest card, but I mean, it's okay. What do you think about that Thunderous coming out in Obsidian Flames? Can hit 140?
Bulk.
Wait, it can hit 140 though.
It's bulk.
Doesn't 140 knock out Lugia?
It's bulk.
Okay,
so
I'll have to prove you otherwise.
You already have Flying Pikachu. If you really want to beat Lugia, you just play Flying Pikachu because it'll just fly over all the single prize Tyrannitars and all the nonsense, and it forces them to have whatever else boss. You already have Raikou that KOs Lugia. You already have Miraidon that KOs Lugia.
But now I'm going 2 for 2.
The Thunderous, though, it's got 2 retreat. It hurts itself awfully,
severely.
It leaves itself with 20 HP. So by the time you do anything with this Thunderous, if you get paired up against Lost Zone for whatever reason, and you start that Thunderous,
well, I'm not.
You gonna have a bad.
I'm not gonna use Thunderous. I'm not gonna use Thunderous against Lost Zone unless I start it.
If you start it,
if you start it, yeah. But
and it can happen. It can happen.
It can. I don't know.
How many times? How many times did you ever put Radiant Charizard in a deck and you started the dang thing?
A couple times. Now if you said Manaphy.
Oh, dude, don't no.
Talking about Manaphy.
Don't know. Because you're calling out all those league challenges I played in where I started Manaphy so many games, and I was just like, oh.
Bro, I've been there. Don't worry, I've been there. I'm like, why are you here? Or Drapion too. What are you doing here? Why'd you start this game? Why are you here, Drapion?
I'd win the coin. I was playing those cups, not cups, but the challenges that we did before that first cup we played in for the season.
When you were playing Tina, right? I was
playing Tina just religiously. And yeah, I had 2 games back to back in a best of 1 where I won the coin flip. Cool, I'll go first. That's what I want to do. I want to get cards in the Lost Zone so I can pop off with Tina next turn. I start lone mana feed. No battle passes, no nest balls, no nothing, and I just proceed to get donked.
I've been there. Sableye attach pass. I've been there. Manaphy attach. Was it Rain Splash or whatever it is?
Yeah. I've
been there. I know what you mean. But no, I feel like Thunderous could still help out, man. Even if you start, at least it's 120 HP? So they have to fully commit a Sableye to it?
I have some bulk near me. Let me find it.
Man, I'll prove you wrong. I'll prove you all wrong.
I got okay, 110 HP, bro. 110 does 90 to itself.
I thought it was 120.
Nah, it's 110.
What if I go what if I use it and then I have an emergency jelly on it and then it heals itself?
No. You can't.
Why not?
Because it doesn't have enough health.
If this
12.
Pokemon has
12.
30 HP left, right?
12 damage counters on it, I think.
I thought it was 30 HP left. Is it 12 damage? No. Is it?
I don't think it works with jelly. I don't think it works with jelly.
I still like it as a tech, man. I like it. It knocks out Lugia. It goes 1 for 2 with Lugia. I like it. I'll try it out. I'll let you know what happens. But I was gonna say the blue Miraidon, Chinpao. Chinpao actually popped up more than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Chinpao was just a bricky mess. I still think it's a bricky mess, but I mean it's scattered throughout top 32. It's got a few placements here and there. It might be a deck, and I don't like it because it's so inconsistent. But I mean when it pops, I guess it pops.
Well, I guess it does. I pulled up emergency jelly. Yeah, 30 HP or less, heal 120. So it does.
See,
but like that's a card that's not going to matter in the rest of that in the rest of that matchup at all, though. Like, because they're just going to one shot all of your crap, and like at the same time, if you're going to play a tool card, you're going to just play the Bravery Charm.
Why not both? Why not Bravery Charm and jelly?
You can only attach one. Are you cheat? Gazer's out here playing in leagues, cheating, attaching multiple tool cards.
Doesn't Reverum do that? Isn't it? We're talking about Reverum right now, right?
But no, we're not talking about Reverum. Oh my god,
Honchkrow V. Honchkrow V.
I'm bringing Modob back. I'm getting rid of you,
bro. Chill. But no, I was saying Chinpao didn't pop up as much. I mean, it popped up more than I thought it would, and I guess I gotta start respecting it now. I don't want to. I guess I have to.
I think it's even better moving forward because it's got a good Zard matchup.
So let's touch on that for a second. I mean, Worlds is over. The season is done. We're in a brand new season. The next major event is Pittsburgh, right?
We've been in a brand new season.
Well, I know that, but I mean, it's officially done now.
No, officially. No, we're a month and a half into the season.
I don't understand these rules. I don't understand any of this works.
Worlds doesn't count for the season. It's like its own special event after the season is done.
Listeners, you heard it here first. Stupid says Worlds does not matter. Anyone who participated in Worlds, went to Worlds, won Worlds, none of it matters. You guys heard it here on the Gust of Wind podcast.
You're paraphrasing me.
It's basically what you said.
I'm gonna have to call my lawyer Saul Goodman on this one.
You better call Saul.
Yeah, I'm
man.
Saul Goodman on this one.
The next major event though is Pittsburgh, which I don't know how we're gonna register for that. I don't know what's going on with that.
They finally tweeted today that like news is coming soon, very soon specifically, and then they left. At first they left the H off of Pittsburgh. Then like hours later.
How do you pronounce that then? Pittsburgh?
Yeah, so yeah, after they left that off there, they eventually deleted their tweet and reposted it with the H after they had countless replies like ripping into them like, cool, put some respect on the H. I was dying laughing seeing some of those responses. So hopefully they'll say something in the next couple of days, and hopefully we can have registration by next week so we have an idea what's really going on.
But the next event, Pittsburgh, though, will be Obsidian Flames legal.
I mean, yeah, it'll be legal the 25th of this month.
Do you feel like Zard's gonna be the deck of Pittsburgh? Or what do you think?
I am inclined to say yes. If you look at these like tier lists and rankings from Japan, which has been playing with these cards for the past few weeks now, since like they got the full set when we were doing our pre-releases, since they had to go backwards or whatever for Worlds just for that weekend and play our format instead.
Been there.
But yeah, if you look at like PokeCard Lab and Pokeka Book and stuff, it's the best. It's winning all the city leagues or the gym leagues, whatever they are technically. That's dominating. I think we're gonna see 25% Charizard
Whoa.
meta share day one at Pittsburgh.
Bruh, that's a large percentage.
Here's my backup to my reasoning. And I'll use TCG Player as an example. Friday, the regular art Zard EXs were as low as $15 for the day.
Are we on stonks right now?
No. But I mean, we can technically use this information towards stonks if you really
want to. Here we go,
to.
stonks. This is it right here, stonks.
The market price now for the regular art Charizard EX is $26 and change.
I've seen that. It was 24 a couple days. It's 26 now?
Yeah. And if you look at the amount of listings of all the cards in the set, right now there's 120 listings of the alternate art Charizard EX, the special illustration rare. 91 listings of the gold, 53 of the full art. The regular only has 25 copies available for sale right now. And it's been like this all week.
So people are gripping. So anyone who's pulling those things, they're just holding on to them. They're like, nope, I'm going to play this.
Or
so does that mean?
Or they're buying them as soon as they're listed. And there's not enough supply for the demand, warranting the $25 EX price point. And this hasn't... We've dodged this sort of situation the last two sets.
Yeah.
We haven't had this like $25 basic EX/V Roblox Pokemon since like Lugia.
There it is. I was like, he's going to say it.
And before Lugia, Giratina. And before Giratina, Palkia.
Oh, Palkia. I forgot Palkia.
And before Palkia, Arceus.
There it is.
And before
I forgot about Palkia.
Mew.
Oh, Mew was up there?
What? Yeah. Oh, Mew's expensive for the V and
I don't remember that.
The V and the V Max.
I don't remember.
And this is another thing too. Is typically before Scarlet and Violet, we had our basic V and our V Star / V Max. Okay. So you had to buy two pieces of your puzzle. Now with evolving EXs, similar to how GXs were, you only have to buy like a couple ultra rares versus a couple common uncommons. So you don't have to buy a Charizard V and a V Star. You just have to buy a Charizard EX. But there's not enough to go around.
So that price jumps up from $15 to $25.
Yeah. And I mean, to also touch on it too is like Pidgeots were down to like $3-4 for like regulars and full arts. And they've pushed up close to 10 today. And we're the full art, like the blue background one, was a little over $10-12 for a little bit this afternoon, but it's back underneath.
And by full art, you don't mean the illustrator rare. You mean the full art,
just like the solid color. Like if you, like this one, just happens to be chilling on the desk.
I have one of those. Yeah.
They're
bro. They're
over
like 6 Pidgeots.
They're over what they were like for pre-sale that first week.
Oh wow, interesting. I have like 6 Pidgeots. Why can't I pull any Zards though?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the alternate Zard.
I hit the alt art. I did. I have a gold, a full art that is sent to be graded, and an alt art, but I can't hit a single regular Zard.
Yeah, I didn't hit any regular Zards. I hit the alt art as well out of a pre-release that I played in. And then out of Emily's prize packs from this past weekend from the Cup, she hit a regular art Zard, and she's like, here you go. I know you want this. I was like, so I'm the winner after all.
He said, thanks, babe. Love you. But no, I think it's going to be played, but not 25%. Maybe. I don't know, man. What you're saying makes a lot of sense. Because
yeah, go ahead.
Such a low number of such a low number of listings. Either, competitors, players are getting their hands on these cards, and they're, when they crack them, they hold on to them. But, it doesn't make sense because, this card game is such, a collector, infested thing too, that they should be selling them right away. So I think you're right. They might, players are buying them up, getting them, and they're like, I'm going to play this at Pittsburgh. I'm going to play this at Sacramento, whatever it is. And you might be onto something, man. You might be right.
Yeah, I would be shocked if it's not in the 20% range. My guess is like 2025, but I would be shocked if it's not at least 20% meta share day one at Pittsburgh.
What do you see Glamora EX? I'm trying to figure out where, what kind of percentage? Like
2% or less.
Okay, that's okay. I accept that or less. It's a fun deck, bro.
If you show up,
Have
you're
Judge
playing
go
Glamora, right?
I probably am.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it. I need to tweak my list a little bit. Only problem is I find myself struggling for energy sometimes. Like, why can I find energy? It shouldn't be this hard. Mm-hmm. But it's path Judge go Burr. And when your opponent has to go down to 3 Pokemon, they're struggling, they don't know what to do, and it's so fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. But yeah. Pittsburgh is going to be interesting. Do you think, and we won't hold this podcast up too much longer, but I just want to get your thoughts on a couple of things. Do you think, with people expecting so much Zard, I mean, you're one of them expecting Zard, do you think Meowscarada finally makes an appearance that matters?
So that's a variable. And I've been farming the ladder on my phone at work with a different grass deck, but I don't want to talk about that. I'm keeping that.
Is this between you and the Redacted Boys?
Yes, yeah. So that one is off limits, but
DM me later.
The Meowscarada, it still has issues, but it also gained Pidgeot to help set up with consistency. So I could see it. I mean, you could if you set up faster, you could, as long as you get damage on the Zard, you can one-shot it. If you don't get damage on the Zard, you don't one-shot it. And even then, they eventually take it. You take enough prize cards, they can one-shot you.
Yeah, I don't think Meowscarada is it. I was just joking about that. Because a lot of these Zard decks are still running Radiant Zard, right?
Some have started to cut it, from what I've seen.
What?
Yeah.
I would run it. Why wouldn't you run it?
I don't think you need it. I mean, sure, you're weak to grass, whatever, but at the same time, starting that Zard in that deck now, that's a death sentence. Because you want to lead like Charmander or Arceus. You start that Radiant Zard, it's you're gonna have a fat bench, and hopefully you can draw out of it and like pop off with a Starbirth and get a Pidgeot up for quick search.
Hey man, all Arceus decks just all they want to do is attach pass. That's all they hope for. That's all they want. So as long as they get Arceus down, they're good.
Well, in Charizard, Arceus doesn't need the attachment. It's just there for Starbirth to pop you up.
I know.
As soon as you evolve,
you Starbirth, you go get Pidgeot. I know.
Yeah, as soon as you evolve into a Charizard, you're swarming the board with energy. And I also think too, Charizard is really good in a Gardevoir and really good in a Mew.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's hard for them to one-shot you. Maybe Guardian can get there a little bit easier, but it's hard for Mew to one-shot you. And then in return,
and you don't even have to take two prizes. No, they don't even have to.
No, you don't have to take two. Yeah,
you just got to get a Charizard set up, and you have 3 attackers ready to go. You set up a Charizard once against Mew, you have 3 attackers. You put 1 energy or 2 on the whatever one you're attacking with, another energy somewhere else, and next turn attach, and you're rocking and rolling, man. But I've been looking at, like, every day I go on PokeCard Lab and I look at all the gym battle results, and there's just winner Charizard, winner Charizard, winner Charizard, winner Charizard.
And these are all Arc Pidgeot lists, right?
Not all of them. I've seen some.
Okay, there we go. Have you seen the Lost Box list?
I've seen Lost Box lists, yes. I've seen Entei Delphox lists with heavy 4 Sealstone.
Excuse me?
Yeah, there's like 4-ish solid ways to play it, and I think that's because no one has completely solved the deck yet. And like I technically I got my 3rd Charizard last night, but if I'm gonna play it, I unfortunately have an alternate art, a full art, and a regular, and I really don't want to riffle shuffle the alternate art when it's like $100 card.
Yeah, I have the alt art one. I have it sleeved up, and I have it in a top loader, and I also have the gold one right here too. My full art I sent to be graded. I don't know when I'll get that back because PSA. But yeah, I have yet to hit any regular Zards, but I have 3 of the other ones. And I'm like, well, if I need to play it, I'll just crack open the PSA one and here we go.
But yeah, there's even been a few ones where it's like I've seen Arceus, Pidgeot, and Bibarel in the Charizard list. And now that Limitless is updated for Play Limitless, I know we had a late night last night, but there weren't lists.
Closed deck lists for the first time.
Yeah,
it felt like a regional, man. You don't know what anyone's playing. Like, I don't know. What is that?
And that online event with that kind of situation kind of leaves room for error for like people to be scumbags and swap decks or whatever. So we really don't have like true to trust results from anyone unless they've said otherwise of what they've played or whatever. But now that it's finally on there, I think next 3 weeks of late night is going to make a big difference for the American metagame. And
it's going to be testing those Zards out, huh?
And if it's as Zard heavy as we think, then yeah, I could definitely see that 20-25% that I'm predicting for day one.
I see a grass deck. If that's the case, I see someone bringing some grass deck and doing pretty well. If it's 20-25%, if someone brings a grass deck, they can do pretty well with it.
Do you remember? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Do you remember the pandemic Decidueye bell curve?
Yes.
I don't think we'll see a grass deck at Pittsburgh. I think we'll see the next regional have the Zard counters.
Was the next one Sacramento, or is it something else?
I'd have to pull it up. But yeah, I think
the next one. Yeah,
I think we'll see Zard heavy. Next regional will be anti-Zard, anti-meta.
Well, we had the same thing. Same thing happened with Decidueye. Same thing happened with Mew VMAX.
The bell curve.
It happens. Yeah. I could see though a couple brave souls like, hey, I'm gonna play something with grass because I expect Zard, and when they hit those Zards, they were like, yes, and I could see something like that happening though. But then, like you say, the next regional, the influx of more grass decks will flow in. You'll start seeing random Leafeon VMAX decks, trying to make a comeback. Maybe Toad's Cruel. That's what I was going to allude to. Maybe Toad's Cruel. Someone cracks the list open with Toad's Cruel and does well with it.
One of the things that I've seen do okay in Japan is something we won't have, and that's Scovillain EX. I've seen a few Scovillain EX decks get in there to KO.
Well, if you play that with Reversal, you don't think that's a way to go?
It's an EX.
Oh, Scovillain EX. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the new Scovillain that has the dual type. Okay, yeah.
So we don't have that because I think it's a prize promo for them. So we won't potentially see that till our next set. But there's been
a Paradox Rift
if it gets shoved in there, that and that Moonlight Stadium or whatever, if they get printed into it potentially.
Guardy's like, hey, we're fine. We're gonna be okay. Good old Guardy.
And I mean, Guardy's still doing good. There's been a lot of Chin-Pao, Baxcalibur, Palkia decks that I've seen pull out of Japan. There's been a few random like Torterra, Grotle, Reversal Energy, Luxray, Pidgeot, Bird Box style decks too. So there are options, but at the same time, they are drastically meta calls. And yeah, I think we might see Zard dominate Pittsburgh. That's my call. If I'm wrong, then I don't know. Let's make a bet.
When we get closer to Pittsburgh, you want to make a bet?
I'm calling it right now, bro. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. Let's make a bet right now. I'm calling Zard heavy Pittsburgh.
All right, what's on the line? You said between 20 and 25%, right? So based on the 20%, Zard?
Yeah.
I think that's high. I might give you 20. I think it's no higher than 20. What if we go 20? You want to make a bet? 22%?
No, I would say between that range, 20, 25.
So you're scared to go up 2%? Coward. I'll make a bet with you right now if you say 22%.
All right, what's on the line?
So I have this building battle box, right?
That's open. That's bulk.
Oh, okay. Caught on to me.
Yeah. I've known you too long.
Let's see. I don't know. We'll have to discuss something. What are you thinking?
Yeah, we'll figure
some packs. Are you thinking we have to do something silly on the podcast?
I think silly podcast would probably be the way to go. or like I have to buy you dinner or something stupid.
Yo, Dairy Queen?
There's not one downtown, but I mean, if you come stay on my nice kitchen floor, if you'd like, or my living room floor, you can't sleep on the couch. That's where the plushies hang out. You can sleep on the floor, and we can take you to Dairy Queen.
Where's Gazer? He's on the floor. There's plushies on the couch. So hey, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay,
we'll go 20%. Yeah, we can make a bet for the pod.
Yeah, over under 20.
Matter of fact, can we make this a poll, like on the next podcast? What should Gazer and Stupid? Oh no, it can't be open ended, huh? It has to be yes or no. Well, we'll come up with something.
Figure it out.
What should Gazer and Stupid do? Yeah.
If you have an idea, if you're listening, join our Discord server and let us know inside of the Discord server. Or reply to the Q&A of the episode. I'll add that to the episode on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify and you want to do the Q&A, I'll put that as the question for this episode. What should we do for our bet?
I like that. So yeah, Stupid, that was Worlds. That was Obsidian Flames. Are we missing anything?
Not too much, man. We're in that point now where it's just all gas ahead for the regionals starting up.
Regionals, cups are going to be expanding. More cups, more challenges.
I ran one this past weekend, so that was a good time.
Aren't you going to one this upcoming weekend?
Yes, I'm going to Saturday, right? And I'm playing a dumb deck. So
come back with some points, man. That's all I can say. Bring some points on.
I need a break from Tina. You know what I mean? Like you play the same deck for so long, and you just kind of like bleh. Like the last time I played it. Yeah, I got 20 points for a top 16 and a stacked cup, but I need a chill pill from the Tina.
I mean, that didn't work out that too well from our boy Dre. He strayed away from you twice, and
no, yeah. I've got.
I say stick with what you know, man. If you got something, you know it. Just stick with it.
I've got something in my backpack. I'm playing, so
you'll be 1-3 drop somewhere around there.
Maybe the electric generator's a payoff. I'm gonna play me some mid ride on.
Mid ride on. Okay. But yeah, if that's all we have to talk about, Stupid, where can we listen to this podcast?
Spotify, Amazon, Google, YouTube's back, baby. MW is taking full control of the YouTube channel.
Shout out to Mike.
So yes. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, do it. There'll also be a bunch of short content over there as well. We opened up boxes courtesy of Darkside Games, so we opened that up on Twitch, so if you can potentially go watch the VOD, but there'll also be some funny pack opening style shorts on the podcast channel, and then I think he said he's going to put a couple on mine or whatever. So
yeah, we're a couple funny guys. So yeah,
we had a good time. It was the first time we've got to like do this together, but also like be heavily interactive with the chat. So that was always a little bit of fun times to have. Yeah,
your box destroyed my box, but I had an ETB. They also sent me when I did the casting with Pokey Emmy, and the ETB was pretty fire.
I will say, I'm mad at the chat because they voted for your box as the winner, even though
my box was terrible.
Even though I had 2 special illustration rare supporters, like I took a picture of all the hits or whatever. When I hit Gita and Poppy special illustration rares. So that was nice.
The Gita like put the cherry on the top, put the frosting on the cake. It won it for you. I was like, he pulled a Gita too? Because you already were like, you already beat me pretty much for the most part, and then you pulled the Gita like second last pack.
The Poppy was out of the second pack or whatever, and I really did want. Yeah. I really did want one of the Poppies. I think that's an adorable card, and it's in the secret spicy list that I'm working on.
Yo, relax.
So I'm gonna put that illustration rare in there.
So we're gonna see this in Pittsburgh, right?
Maybe the regional after Pittsburgh.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, so we've got some Q&A questions from the chat, as always, on Twitch. If you ever want to ask us questions, make sure you follow us over on Twitter. Though? That way you know when we go live, or join our Discord. That way you know when we go live, and you can come and ask us questions. And yeah, sometimes there's stupid questions, and sometimes there's real questions.
Sometimes, all the time.
And here you go. This one's for you, Gazer. This is a hypothetical question from Little Frizz. Which character from the Pokemon anime would you invite to the podcast?
I guess that's a legit question. I guess. From the Pokemon anime, you know what I would invite? He was in the Generation 4 Diamond and Pearl anime. He won the finals. His name was Tobias.
Okay, with the Darkrai.
With the Darkrai. I want to invite
And
Tobias.
didn't he have a Heatran too or something? He had like two.
Not a Heatran, he had a Latios.
Okay, yeah, Latios and Darkrai.
Yeah, I want to invite Tobias on and ask him what his other 4 Pokemon were. I'm guessing they were all legendary, and I'm like, how did you catch all of them? That's what I want to know. That's my question for Tobias.
Okay. If I had to pick one, who is the professor from the Orange Islands?
Ivory, Professor Ivory.
Yeah, Ivy.
Ivy, yeah, Ivy.
Yeah.
Ivy.
She was my childhood crush.
I mean, she was.
Everybody else is like, wrong. Oh my God, Misty, Erica. No, man, Professor Ivy.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you for that. So I'd get that as well. I mean, she made Tracy.
Yes.
She made Tracy stay. So yeah, I get it.
And he eventually came back around or whatever. So
came back and started hanging around Oak. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tracy's kind of gets around, doesn't he?
Okay. Anyways.
Any more questions?
So there's a question from Scavenger. It says, Steuben, what did the player from your store play at Worlds? What text did it have and how did they do? I didn't have a player at my store play at Worlds. I think Scavenger might mean Jared from the team. They don't play at my store. They live in Indiana. So they played God of War and they had Cross Switcher in their list. They started.
Jared's part of Subin's testing group.
Yeah, we have a testing
and
group.
Part of sponsored by Darkside Games as well.
Team Redacted is what we are.
We gotta get those Redacted boys on here sooner or later, man.
And we planned on that, but timing kind of fell through because we definitely want to have an episode where like we can prove that we made something from nothing happen.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't make it an episode, then I'll make it a YouTube video because the YouTube video about Worlds for 2024 did really well. And there were a lot of heartfelt comments from people pouring their stories out. And I really do want to continue making content like that can help the average Joe and Jane in the scene. Because a lot of the information that people get from like the top 1% players is like 2 truths and a lie. Sometimes it feels like where like it might be true for them, but it's not true for everybody else considering circumstances. You know what I mean? Like where they're like, you want to get better at the game, just play and get better. But not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? So I'd love to find ways to
go a little bit in depth.
And talk about it in a plain way for people to fully grasp and understand what they can do within their realm of possibilities, instead of just saying, just do it.
Get good.
Yeah.
Hey, get good. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I mean, before I knew who the Redacted Boys were, I knew a couple of members. And then, when we started trying to talk about this episode, you talked about, who they were. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Who's that guy? Who is that? Don't know that name.
Twitter handles.
And he told me the Twitter handle. I was like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah, I said, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, definitely be an interesting episode. I feel like that's almost an episode where I should host it, and you should be part of the whole pod, and just have questions asked towards you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I feel like that's something because that's a personal one for you, man. I feel like that's something where you guys should do all the talking, and I should just ask the questions. This should be your chance to talk more than have to ask questions.
Well, again, we'll figure it out. We have to get everybody on the same scheduling and whatnot.
I mean, there's like 20 of you guys, so
there's not 20 of us. There's a solid like 10 super active in our Discord server. So
how can one join the Redacted team? Is there like a initiation or like a code word we need?
I don't really know. Bean invited me after last year's NAIC. After I kicked my own ass about Milwaukee, then NAIC, how I went from like almost day 2 at Darkrai to playing the exact same 59 cards to go 0-3 drop. and like
I remember that.
I was molding pretty hard about that.
You said you want to find a group where you could like test seriously with, where you could really like put in some work and some effort,
Yeah,
and see some results. I remember that.
And locally, the situation is starting to change and get better because I've had like full league challenges and cups that like max out, and people have been coming and playing every week for casuals and tournaments and stuff. So like the local scene is finally coming to something, but at that point in time, we were still kind of like, when do I get to play other than online?
Yeah, well, we gotta get the redacted team on there. That'd be an interesting episode, man. Yeah. We gotta get Kyle Sablehouse on here too.
That'd be cool.
Just to break the fourth wall. He was in the chat earlier. And I was hoping he just, magically appeared out of nowhere, and he's like, bro, I got Discord. And I'm like, yo, and I got a little, giddy inside, and I kind of giggled to myself, like, Kyle. So yeah.
Gazer sliding into the DMs.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I might. I don't know. Maybe.
All right. And for Q&A, there's before we do like derail too much, for Q&A, there's 3 more questions. I'm going to leave you answer these ones if you want to. Make sure you read them in sequential order, I think. I'm not 100% certain.
Okay. This one comes from Little Frizz. Gazer, make a basketball team starting 5 and a 6th player coming off the bench with the people in the Pokemon community. And the follow-up question to that from Little Frizz, and who would coach the team? For the basketball question before. I think I'll be player coach, Frizz. I can play, and I can also coach a little bit, so I'll be the player coach. There's 2 guys I would definitely draft, and the rest, kind of have to have additions or tryouts, you know what I mean? The 2 guys I would definitely draft would be Cal Connor. Cal Connor is like 6'2" and can actually play basketball a little bit. I think he, played in high school. And Blake Ray. And they're both shuffle squatters. Blake Ray, I hooped with him. He can hoop. He can hoop. He can dunk and get to the basket. He can hoop. So I definitely draft those 2. The rest have to be like tryouts and see. I would not draft my boy Dre, Fresno's finest. I would not draft Dre. He's a football player. And he's an athlete, but his basketball skills aren't the same. So we definitely have to have tryouts. So I'll definitely be the player coach. And the last question from Champion Cordy. We love Cordy. When Gazer and Subin 1v1 in basketball, Subin doesn't want that problem. He would get buckets. I would score on him. I would just give him buckets all day. He doesn't want that issue.
The day Gazer gets in a mosh pit with me at a metal show is the day we'll play basketball.
Stupid, I dropped my cell phone. I can't find it. It's in here somewhere.
He'd be like Velma looking for your glasses.
My glasses.
You ever seen the episode of The Simpsons where like Bart and Lisa are gonna fight, and it's just like, I'm just gonna do this, and if you happen to get into it and you get hit by my legs, that's your fault.
Was that where Lisa was spinning her arms around?
Yeah. You just put that into some metal or whatever and call it a day.
But nah, that was a Q&A section. Will we ever get like serious questions? Like I want like a serious, in-depth, hard-hitting question where we have to take our time and answer diligently and like put some really thought into it. Is that ever going to happen?
We've had a couple.
I guess we have. You're right.
Solid questions.
I think more so with Sean when we had Sean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When we got a little heartfelt and sentimental. So.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. Our chat just loves to troll us, which is fine.
We love them no matter what they do. So. At least I do. I don't know about you. You kind of get angry at them all the time.
Only usually Clan Burglar, or people like that. That's it.
Well, it's your fault.
Will be hidden. Oh, he makes me so mad.
If they didn't have to blame you for all of your scams and crimes against humanity, then you wouldn't be mad.
Crimes against humanity? Like the world is just in a worse place because I exist.
Yeah.
He said yeah. So let's get out of here, man.
I want people to know that like the way like our stupidness, like I don't hate Gazer at all.
Are you sure?
I don't have a real mean bone in my body. I have bones, but they're not mean. It's all a bit. It's all a ruse. It's all a.
It is. A lot of it is. Oh, okay, not all, but a lot of it is.
Yeah.
A lot of it is. There's times where I'd say we go behind the scenes a lot, just to pull back the curtain for a little bit. I do it all the time. There's times Super and I really get into it, and MWDC has to play, referee and break up the fight.
Yeah, we're like 2 stepbrothers, and he's our dad or whatever, trying to break up the fight.
boys. But no, yeah, super good episode. It was nice to be back and talk about what happened. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, that's it. Don't forget to leave a rating. 5 is a really good number. I can't say that you should give us a 5-star review, but I definitely really like the number 5. It's a really great number. I like when they would have that be the number of the episode of Sesame Street when I was a kid. I really associated it with the number 5. It really makes things better for us. But yeah, don't forget to follow us on all the social media links, as always, down in the description and the show notes below. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's back, baby. So that'll
Shout
do
out
it.
to Mike for that YouTube love. Yeah, that's it for the Gust of Wind podcast. I'm Gazerine2K. This was Steuben with 2 O's. Don't call him Ben.
Zeros. Thank you.
Yes, with 2. Oh, my bad. With 2 zeros.
The 2 zeros.
Don't call him Ben.
Infinity.
Oh, I get it. The Googleplex. I get it. Yeah, we're out of here. Appreciate you guys for listening.
Smile you later.
See you guys next episode.